All right, but let's move on to...
Could go to Miami, too.
Let's move on to the second topic. We don't know yet. We'll have to.
I know.
We'll be talking about this.
There's a ton of teams he could go to.
Remind me in 360 days that Russell Westbrook free agency talk is going to be happening.
Only a 5-day subtraction on that one.
Yep. I don't know, man. Whatever. Anyways, let's go move on to our second topic. And Sacramento Kings are in trade talks again. Rudy Gay being shopped by the Kings. Kosta Koufos being shopped by the Kings, and Ben McLemore also being shopped by the Twins. The Kings, reported by Mark Stein of ESPN. Do you think it's the right move for Sacramento to move Gay?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't.
Really?
They suck anyways, right?
But then
your Bulls are in talk to get Gay.
I feel like the Bulls and the Kings just have an open line of communication at all times. Like, so you think about shipping anybody?
Too bad for it.
Is it one of those things where the only reason if I'm the Bulls, I'm talking to the Kings about a trade? Okay, who out of these list of players can I send you to where you get outside the top 10? Because that needs to happen this year. That's what I'm doing. If I'm the Bulls trading for... Okay, you don't think Gay can do it? Here, I'll send you this guy. I'll send you Tony Snell. I'll send you this crap that probably will keep you in the top 10
They're trying...
still.
But, I mean, really, are any of those guys better than Rudy Gay? No, they're not. So, Rudy Gay, pure score. I think he's still a good player. He just needs to find a team that is only looking for scoring.
But then again, if the Bulls add him on... Rudy Gay's not the best perimeter shooter. This guy's not shooting 40% from three. He is. If you add up all Rondo, Wade, and Butler's 3-point shot, I think they combined to shoot 52%. Mm-hmm. They combined to shoot 52%. I think Gay shoots around 37. I'm not
34 last year.
34. So he's worse. Rondo shot 36. Yeah. So I mean, you're not gonna have any spacing on this goddamn team unless you're bringing Rudy Gay to bring in a sixth man. I mean. I think Sacramento should be moving a lot of players, and I think getting
maybe some centers.
Well, yeah, Koufos is a center, so I think that's a very smart move to get rid of him because I think he's got a decently movable contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's fairly young. He's nothing special, but you can get something back from him. And you obviously
he's a good bench center, and that's all. Look, there's teams, even the Bulls. That's why we're talking to them. We could use a backup center. Why not?
Backup Brook Lopez. I mean, you gotta definitely relieve that logjam of Stein, Cousins, Koufos, and Papagiannis. So I think obviously that would definitely help there. And I mean, McLemore, the project really hasn't worked out yet. I mean,
yeah, we haven't seen it. We're not saying it can't happen. We're just saying that Sacramento severely stunted this kid's growth if there was any chance for him to develop.
Yeah, do you think the Kings, this is going to be their final move? Are they just looking to move Gay, Koufos, and McLemore? Or
I think it's kind of just one of those things where it's like, hey, these guys are out there.
But do you think
anybody want them?
My thing is, do you think they go bigger?
They go bigger?
Bigger fish on the market.
Well, you think they're going to trade DeMarcus Cousins?
I'm just saying. Do you think that's if they can't move?
Just throw the name out there.
If they can't move
Cousins,
if they can't move anything like of these players, if they can't move Gay, McLemore, or Koufos, do you think they go bigger fish to fry?
Yeah,
and maybe they try to package them in to move them out and get more value.
That could
not
be.
right now. I think
you want to see this team play first.
Well, I want to see what Coach Yeager can do with Boogie first, and I mean. Is it one of those things where I think he's the DeMarcus Cousins whisperer? Not a chance, but it's one of those things if you are in that front office, you're thinking, hey, we brought this coach in. I want to see what he does with them, and then we can move forward. Maybe by the trade deadline, a little bit before, there's a chance Cousins will be in our discussion podcast about who's going to be traded where, who's going to be traded when, and then they start talking about a deal. But before the season starts, I feel like it's, okay, we got to see what our new coach can do with this guy before we think about trading him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they might be moving Gay just so they can kind of get their young players going. Or moving McLemore so they can get guys like Malachi Richardson going, and I kind of relieve that stuff so they can go in a younger direction, and Yeager can kind of see what he has with their young players because they know what they're getting from Gay, and I think that a guy like Gay doesn't really mess well with Boogie and doesn't really mesh well with the players they currently have in stock. Obviously, the Koufos thing makes sense because they have so many centers there. I think that they want to see what they have in their young guys before they go out and trade a guy like Boogie. And if that move ever happens, I mean, I don't know if that move happens, but if they do go out and trade a guy like Boogie, they need to have someone that can replace them. And before they do that, they need to see who they have to replace them.
Until you get a good look at Papagiannis, I feel like you can't pull the trigger on trading Boogie yet. But, I mean, is there value there? Yes. Will there be value there at midseason? Absolutely, because teams are now looking for what's going to put me over the top to compete against the super teams. And look, Boogie's got value. Like, he is still the best center in the league. I want to see... I'm pushing for the Celtics to make that move happen. They've got all the pieces they need to.
Would they do that now that they got Al Horford, though?
I feel like no. I feel like that's...
Horford could play power forward.
Which is what he probably wants to do.
But I mean, contractually wise, would you want to pay Al
Boogie's
Horford
contract isn't as bad as
the ones we have seen.
They're going to be. I'd say this next offseason they're going to be even worse. So,
but it's one of those things where, with the Kings, it's just like, who.
They're middle of the pack team.
They're not going to get anything.
They're not going to break away.
They're not going to get anything of substantial value, I think, for these players. Where we're going to see a trade for Ben McLemore, and it's going to be like, oh, okay, that happened.
They're just going to move some smaller pieces to get some different faces in there.
Like, okay,
they've already seen what they've got out of Ben, and they're like, you know what, we can do without this.
Let me throw this out as an example. Let's say they work a trade out with the Bulls for Ben McLemore. What pieces would the Bulls possibly give him?
Snell.
Second.
Snell in a second.
You look at that and go, okay, well, that was a shit trade that I don't care about.
It's like the Cameron Barstow trade.
Yeah, it's like the Cameron Barstow trade where it's like, whatever, that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Spencer Dinwiddie. Woo.
So with the King, and there, cut him. So with the Kings, at point guard they'll have Darren Collison, and then behind him they'll have Garrett Temple, who they signed from Washington. At shooting guard they'll most likely have Aaron Aflalo starting.
Yep.
Then McLemore will be backing him up, and then they have Malachi Richardson, who they drafted. So they're kind of creating, getting rid of that logjam there.
Yeah,
and
I think Malachi
Richardson,
is going to come in.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to see him play.
And have Richardson kind of be in the rotation quicker. Rudy Gay, they signed Matt Barnes, and they have Omer Caspi, which, I mean, maybe you move
Barnes
Malachi
is still a good
to the
defensive
3.
presence.
Yeah, but maybe you move Malachi to 3, and maybe that's why you want him to start, and maybe you keep Aflalo there for shooting because Malachi is more of a driver and more of a scorer that way. So, I mean, I don't really see. I see the point of moving Gay because he's value, and you can obviously get something back, whether that's draft picks or not. But
right,
with the Kings, it's
rock all centers and forwards. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they
team height
scale at the 1. But okay. I think they need. I think they're just looking for something to either keep Boogie interested or to just get this team going down the right road. Because
I feel like they're just trying to shift pieces around until something sticks. Because look, they know what they have in the guys they've got already. The new draft picks we have to wait and see on, obviously. But I feel like it's just a matter of let's move some B and C pieces around, and if somebody comes in as a better fit, great. If not, it's not a big loss. Like, they have that flexibility because they have no aspirations for a title. They have no chance for, a really good playoff run. So, really, it's just down to, well, we can go for a top 10 draft pick or we can go and be a mid-tier team. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And I can't blame. I give the Kings a lot of shit, which they kind of deserve
credit
it.
Due.
Yeah, but I understand the moves that they're making.
I hope this team just comes out and performs really well this year.
Well enough to stay in the lottery. But well enough to get the 11th pick.
Yeah, we're hoping 11th pick.
A stellar season.
Papa John's for
MVP.
I don't know why people think I'm actively rooting against these kids. I don't think
it kind of sounds like it.
No, I'm not. But
we literally have no expectations for them.
A reach is a reach. You could say a reach is a reach. It doesn't mean it's a bad pick. It just means it's a reach. It means you could have got the value deeper in the draft.
I believe your exact words were, "It's a bad pick."
It was it was the worst pick. It doesn't mean he will be a bad player, but it was the worst pick. If value wise, it was the worst pick.
Here's a player, though, to calm you down, Sean. Here's a player for the Kings, though, that I think needs to step up this season. And if he doesn't, I would even think about maybe moving him, not this year, but maybe next year, Willie Cauley-Stein.
He's decent defensively.
Yeah, but he's a guy where it's like we had bigger expectations for him last year.
We've always known he's limited on the offensive end. Defensively, he's a good presence, decent rim protector. But, yeah, I feel like now they've got a lot of centers. They're stacking up.
And he'd be maybe a piece that a team may want because he's younger and doesn't have the
I feel like Papa John
problems that Boogie has.
I feel like if Boogie's going out, they're expecting Papa John's and Cauley-Stein to be their 1-2 punch at center. And I think that's fair. I think every team should have a good defensive center, even if it's just a bench guy. But you need someone who can step in because you don't want to get destroyed against teams who can. And it's ugly. So I think that they're going to keep him. I feel like, but you're right, he does have value, and they could be shipped.
They definitely could be shipped. Do you think who do you think is the most likely to be moved? Do you think it's Rudy Gay, or do you think
Rudy Gay?
It's Ben McLemore.
Rudy Gay's been Ben's the easiest to move because his value's lower, but Rudy Gay has been on trade talks for 2 years now. Like, he's gonna get moved. It's gonna happen. It's a matter of time.
And not to bash on the Kings before the summer league didn't start off too well for them. They lost 88-47 right away. Papagiannis didn't play. Willie Cauley-Stein shot 2 for 10 from the field.
That's why Papa John's didn't play, man. He's going to add 40 points off the bench.
I think they shot 28. They shooting 28% from the field. Really didn't help them.
It's a rough opener.
Papa John's is a plus 40 every night, man.
Will Rudy Gay be a Bull by the end of the season?
I was going to throw that out. Is any of these players going to the Bulls? I hope not. I hope not.
Why not Koufos?
They just maybe Kosta Koufos, but if any of these players come in the Bulls, I don't go like, yes, we got him.
Nailed it.
It's a Spencer Dinwiddie of whoop-de-doo, Basil. What does it all mean?
I think Koufos is better than a Spencer Dinwiddie, and I think Ben McLemore is a decent shooter. I think these guys can be.
Kosta Koufos could add something, but like a Ben McLemore or Rudy Gay, I just go, okay. I just want to see D-Wade.
We still have no idea what the Bulls are doing.
Yeah, until they hit the floor. Until they hit the floor and I see this team play.
As far as management and the direction of this organization, we're not getting younger. We're getting older. We're making a push for the playoffs in the wrong time.
I can't wait for the season premiere of Hard Knocks in the Bulls locker room.
To be completely honest with you, I want to see Rudy Gay be traded to the Bulls, and then I can honestly say the Bulls are the worst front office in the league, and the Kings would be the best.
But think of all that talent.
Would be moving up.
Yeah, I say the best.
You just said the best.
Moving up.
I want to quote that. Sean says the Kings.
They're not beating the Warriors. Sorry.
All right.
But yeah, no, I think a team like Chicago trading for Rudy Gay would definitely be a mistake. Is there any team that out there and they're like, all right, they should trade for Rudy Gay, or they should go out there? Maybe the Thunder. I mean, they have a lot of young talent. Maybe they do bring in a scorer to kind of fill in the gap of KD. I mean, he's not. I know he's not the same shooter of a KD, but I think he's got a decent mid-range game. And he's
clearly
decent
the
on
Knicks.
The basket.
The Knicks. Just stack onto the Knicks some more.
Pretty fair.
2011 championship, man.
Pretty fair. But Kings looking to move Koufos, McLemore, and Rudy Gay. Bulls are in talks, and put Rankin on a list somewhere, because if Rudy Gay goes to the Bulls, we're gonna get a 5 hour. We're gonna get a 5 hour behind the pen of him just roasting the guard packs